Hi students, I'm here in my studio in Spokane, and I want to discuss our painting projects. There's all of our little pieces we're going to be putting together. So I'm right over here. Sorry for the shaky camera, but it's good to see you all. I hope you're doing well. So I'm going to show you a little bit how this project is going to work. Okay, so let me move the camera over here, and I'm going to put it right here like that so we can kind of see what you've got. Okay, so you will be receiving a piece of our puzzle, our painting. We're going to put these pieces together. And it might look like this, it might look like this, it might be all black, who knows what. But I have already drawn out, the pattern. So you will be able to see that there's going to be a pattern there, and you will have this and you'll have this. So our job is to use color, not black and white, but use color and paint this the way it looks. So that's what we're going to be trying to do. And the key thing is to use a color that matches the darkness of the shape we're painting. So if I use yellow to paint this here, yellow's not going to get dark enough. See, that orange is not dark enough there to do this. And if I use a dark black or purple here, that's too dark for that. So we have to use a lighter color. You can use any color you want, but that's what we want to do. I'll show you how to do it in just a second. So first thing you want to do is you're going to be receiving your palette here like this. You'll get this in the mail. Not in the mail, but it will be delivered. And first thing you do, the brush will be inside. Let's wet our brush, squeeze it out, wet it, squeeze it out, wet it, squeeze it out. Make sure you have some water. You can just use a paper towel instead of a sponge. And then we want to put water on your colors, on top of your colors, and that will soften the colors up because they're going to be a little hard. So we'll put some water on here just like this. You move your brush like that, put it over the top, and put a little water. And then let's let our palette set for maybe about 5 minutes while that paint softens it up. So then you will, let's say you get this, this is the one you're given, it'll have your name on it. And let's start out here and let's paint this shape here. You want to line them up so they're like this. Get them side by side. That's a dark color. So if I come in here like that, and I like orange, and I'm going to come down here and grab some orange, and I'm going to paint that orange. So if that's my choice, the question is that orange dark enough for that color? And the answer, of course, is it is not. So if you want to paint it, let's say you want to paint it green. So you find a green here and you're going to paint it green. So you paint it green. Is that color dark enough for that shape? It isn't. So we have to come in here and let's see if we can find a nice dark color here. And look at this color down here I'm mixing up. That's a dark purple. That color is dark enough for that shape. See how that works there? We're going to put that shape in there, and you can take your time. You don't have to go this fast. So that shape now comes close to matching the shape of our pattern. The same thing down here. I could use the same color down here and look at where the pattern goes here. So I can use a dark color here. I could also switch, if I want to use blue, I can switch to blue here and go to blue and paint that in here like this and come down here and fill that in. That's a dark color. But we could not use the orange down here because that orange is not dark enough. See, that orange isn't quite dark enough for that dark shape. It's getting close. And we come down here and we'll fill that in. And let's go ahead and fill this shape in a little more carefully here. And again, let's make that nice and dark like this here. And you can put a second coat over the top to get it dark. Get it nice and dark. Paint out to the edges like that. And then we need to look at our pattern now and say, am I painting my pattern the way it looks? Am I done yet? Well, no, we're not done yet. I have to also finish up. Look at the patterns down here. See that? Look what's happening up in the corner. I'm going to take that dark blue or dark purple, or I could use the dark green, and I'm going to try to paint what I see over here and paint that in here like that, because that now matches that shape. And we can go more carefully. You can set it down. I'm holding it up here, but you can go more slowly and get that to match that. Now notice, look at, we're not quite done yet. See this shape right here? I need to paint that yet. I haven't painted that. Let's go to a, well, we'll go just to a dark blue and put the dark blue down here, and that's going to fit in here like that. So our pattern, I'm doing it a little, hopefully you'll do a little more carefully than I am, but that's going to be just about done. So now my painting looks quite a bit like my pattern. See that? That's what we look at. But guess what? There's some subtle little darknesses there inside. I haven't done that. See that right in here? Right in through there. So that needs to have a color that isn't super dark. So now I wanted to use some orange. So now let's get some orange. And I could put a lighter orange in here like this. Right in through here. And come in through here like this. And come down here like that. And let's see if that color is close to, that color is pretty close to the darkness of that background. And then as we go across, it looks like it gets a little bit lighter here as we move across. We got to also get a little bit darker in here. And it gets, look at our pattern here, it gets a little bit lighter through here like this. A little bit too dark there. Let's use a little yellow in here. And come down here like that, rub that up, and then we'll get a little, let's throw a little bit of yellow in here like this, and here like this, and this. And so even though that's done a little bit quickly, that my painting looks quite a bit like my pattern. So that means our painting is going to turn out okay. But let's go a little bit more carefully than that. Don't do it quite so quickly. Take your time. You guys have plenty of time. Let's do this carefully. Let's take another pattern here. Let's take this one here. You might get a pattern that looks like that. Now that's pretty dark. Let's take this off. This will be tape. Remove it. When these come back, please tape your puzzle pattern, tape it together again before you hand it back to the person who comes and picks this up. Okay, so that it is drawn out here, and we have to look at our pattern and say, I need to get, you could even put it over the top here like this. A little hard to see that. But look at, I could start like this, and I see not a very light color, but I see a color. Let's use some red here and put some red out here. I see a shape right here, and I could put red right here for that. I don't know if you can see that shape. I can also put some red right here and put, look how carefully I'm going here. Go more slowly and put that in there, and that's for that shape right here and this shape here. Now, as we move across here, I can change that color if I want as I come down. It still has to be fairly dark, but it's not black. And let's go to a blue here. So I can switch if I want. I can go to a blue here like this and take our time and come down here and fill this in here like this. And look at the pattern as we come down here. The edge of it's going to come down here like this. And then right here, look at what happens. This shape gets lighter right here. So I'm going to stop right here and go about like that. Maybe add a little more blue here. And then I'm going to come down like this here. And then this is all pretty much the same darkness. It's not super dark, but it's not light. And we're going to run that color. I could add a little more red if I want up here like this here. And so that shape, those shapes are pretty much the right darkness. Now look at this shape right here. This shape needs to be lighter. So right there, I'm going to go to my yellow, and I'm going to make this shape yellow right here, because that shape needs to be a little bit lighter than that shape. Now all we have left to do is put in the dark. So I'll lay this down and do it more carefully here so you can see it here. And that's reflecting a little bit here. Let's try to get this out of the way here. It's still reflecting. Let's go like this here. So I'm going to put this tape here so it doesn't go all over the place. So we're going to come down here. Now we can get really dark paint. I could use a dark green. Let's say if you have a dark green, I can come in here, look at your pattern, and this needs to be really dark here. And go carefully, look at your pattern here, some little dots in here, come down here like this. Dark color, you can use black if you want, but try to use some color here. Now I'm going to go to some purple and fill this in with purple here like this. And that all needs to be quite dark. And we got some dark blue here like this, and we're going to fill that in. Now go slowly over here and look at your pattern, and that's going to come down here like this. So we don't have to spend forever on it, but this gets pretty dark in through here. This little shape here should be a little lighter, so you can also take some lighter colored paint. Let's take some yellow here, and I can put this yellow on top right there because I forgot to leave that a little bit lighter. And now let's go to the other side, and this also needs to, I'll go to my dark green here, and I'm going to put a real dark color right here and come down here like this, and go carefully and go slow and come through here like this, and come on down and match. This is called matching the value. We use a color that's the right value. This is a dark value, and then it's bumping right against that red, which is a medium value. So that needs to be pretty dark. So if you look at this now like that here, my green is not quite dark enough. See that, the green I put? So we're going to put another coat of green on top of that because this green is not dark enough. So watch this. We put a second coat because this is supposed to be really dark, and one coat didn't make it dark enough. So we're going to go over again like this here. Come down here like this. Take this tape off. Let's darken this up here. And now let's see how our painting matches our puzzle piece. The light shape is pretty close. This would be good enough, but let's say I want to make this a little bit darker here. So I'm going to add a little bit of purple here on top of, come over here if you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to mix a little purple here and get just a little bit darker right through here. This should be just a little bit darker here. And let's get darker like this here and darker here like that. And that's getting pretty close now. So now cover up those little white spots like that. And now let's see our colored, kind of like an abstract painting, but our painting is pretty close to matching that piece. The yellow, don't you think the yellow is a little bit too bright considering the way it looks here? See how bright the yellow is there? Let's darken that yellow just a little bit because it's just a little bit too bright. And we'll add a little bit of a red on top of it like that. Make that just a touch darker. Make this a little bit darker like that. Now, let's see how that looks. And that is A+. That looks terrific. So if you have any questions, you can email me, stan@stanmiller.net. You can take a photograph of your piece and your puzzle piece side by side. Take a picture like that. If you want, you can ask me what I think about it. So good luck, you guys. And then when I get all these pieces back, I'll put them together and you'll be able to see what you painted. Each one of you is doing a piece. So take care. Too bad we can't graduate, but at least we can do this graduation project. So that's it for now. Okay, bye-bye.